Present Productions presents the Math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. I've been pointing out some pretty obvious things about how, because I understood this stuff was going to come up in the future, back in the 60s and 70s, it was very obvious to see the lack of seeing this, the lack of people wanting to talk about this, the lack of people wanting to discuss this, and very importantly, the movie industry changing from, Hollywood doing stuff about people going out in space and doing ventures into war, okay? Star Wars, Star Trek, almost always you have fighting, you have Klingons and Romulans and Death Stars and all kinds of horrible stuff, right? I mean, it's fearful to think about, all that stuff. Well, what do they want to do? They wanted to cover up the reality of what was actually there, so they present you with all the dirty stuff. Now, it's really, really horrible of me to say this, but they are literally building off of this. What does this book do? Okay, this is nothing more than a book. It's created by human beings. There's umpteen dozen versions of it. It's peddled all over the world. It is created from stories that are actually historically findable throughout history around the area, Middle East, Asia, subcontinent, India, okay? Those places are where these stories came from, okay? A lot of the stories in here are not just, oh, this is biblical stuff. No. It was a bunch of people sat down and they said, okay, we're going to craft something here to control masses. They created 4 religions. Romans are noted for what? Bread and circuses, divide and conquer, and stealing absolutely everything they can of another society by telling the society, you can worship your God as long as you worship our God too. Okay? So, Jewish religion, like I said, there is absolutely no factual evidence that there was ever a Moses, that there was ever an Exodus. There is no historical evidence of the absolute societal collapse that would have happened if you took all of the slaves out of a slave culture instantly, overnight. Exodus, yes, they picked up and they walked. Really. And the elite rich had to do their own laundry, wash their own toilets, cook their own food, do their own laundry, scrub their own floors, go to the markets, cut their own hair, polish their own chariots. Yeah. You see the problem, folks? When you listen to preachers who are nothing more than con people, people who are lying and cheating and stealing from you, okay? They do not offer you anything that you can factually data check. How do you check that heaven is there? You don't. You die. If it's not there, you don't come back and get your money back, because the church BS'd you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So whether you're a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, a Catholic, a Shinto, any of those things where, there's this one and only God, and only humans exist as anything intelligent in the entire universe. And all of that statement there shows you why scientists are a religion too. Why? There's only one universe. There's nothing beyond us. We have absolute scientific data proof because our instruments can only test to the edge wall of our universe. You have a wall. You cannot see through the wall. Therefore, nothing exists outside that wall? No. Something exists outside that wall and you don't know what it is. However, the religion of Scientifica is that if we cannot produce our rules, our regulations, our data to say this is or is not, then it cannot exist in the first place. Interesting concept, isn't it? Every bit is bad, every bit is dense, every bit is stupid as the religions that run around telling people to believe, we're going to buy you a chair in heaven. Honest, it's only going to cost you 40 gold pieces. Right. The gods need gold. Gods don't have bodies, so they don't wear jewelry, they don't wear crowns, they don't sit in gold chairs and gold thrones, they don't eat golden, they don't eat beautiful fruit on golden plates. There's nothing physical in the spiritual realm. It is an energy realm. You will never meet a physical object in the spiritual realm. This is a physical realm. It's allowed to have physical objects, and it is created by the energy from your spiritual realm, which is all encompassing all of this. Therefore, you do not dictate to the spiritual realm that it can only produce X or Y. It can do ABCs, it can do Chinese, it can do Japanese, it don't care. Everything is allowed in the spiritual realm, but it is a neutral realm, so there are no demons stalking about. Again, how do you create worshipers? The devil's gonna get you. Where is it down here? Warfare. The commies are coming, man. The commies are gonna get you. ISIS. Terrorists. Muslims. Who points you at Muslims? The Christians and Catholics. Yeah. Why? Because they have an agreement from 300 AD that they're going to use the divide and conquer to always be finger pointing at the other one. They're not real. They're not real. They're not real. They're not real. What do? You're back and forth like that. You never stop and sit down and clear out your brain cells and say, hey, if 4 religions all came out of one, 200 square mile area, that little chunk of land over there in the Middle East that everybody's fighting over, theoretically, 4 religions, the 4 master race religions, the only religions allowed in the whole entire universe, came out of one little 200 square mile piece of land. The Aborigines of Australia can look back 35,000 years of their own history. But Christians, Catholics, Jews, and Muslims, we invented the world 6,000 years ago. You didn't do anything, folks. You walked up and tried to take it over. What do governments do? They tell you about warfare. Gotta kill somebody, man. Gotta defend our nationality here. We gotta defend our flag. We gotta defend our religion. We gotta defend our colors. One of the biggest laughs I ever had was living in Southern California and listening to the hype of the political BS about gang members and their colors. And then walking around and seeing high school uniforms, team sport uniforms, police officers, fire department, lawyers, judges, politicians even, wearing colors of their particular level. I believe that. When's the last time you saw a politician that actually didn't look like a politician? No, they all dress similarly. They all talk similarly. They all spew the same BS. Why? Because they are feeding you BS and they're con men. And they're teaching you to listen to their religion of government that says, we have to kill you in order to save you. It's kind of stupid, isn't it? Nonetheless, the Spanish Inquisition, it was a very common practice to walk up, tell somebody, confess your sins, and we'll save your soul. All right, man, I confess. I shot the apple with an arrow. Who? He confessed. He's a sinner. Bang. Yeah, they save him by killing him. How dare you be honest? How dare you be truthful? How dare you be right if you belong to a religion that lies, cheats, and steals? You cannot put a God in a little plastic Jesus or a little plastic doll of what you want to claim as the Virgin Mary. Carry it on a ship to the New World, and you brought the God to the New World. No, you didn't. You brought your concept of domination, control, abuse. If the God is here on this continent, it was here without human intervention. Humans don't tell gods what to do, and they never did. You might be like me and have a good time arguing with them and conversing with them about stuff. But if I tell the God, by freaking God, you put a golden apple in my hand right now. It didn't do it, did it? No. So I don't tell gods what to do. I might tell gods I'm very pissed off at them and they've done me a really bad deal. But I'm not telling them what they're to do. I am suggesting what I would like them to do sometimes. Yes, I'm a little annoying at days. But think about it. Your government wants you to totally forget that all this is murdering your planet. They want you to not believe any of this is possible so that you don't ever want to try and do anything to save your planet. And, you know, like I said, stop and think about it, okay? My design from 1970s of a carbon fiber titanium frame shuttlecraft, reusable. It's running on, you know, I mean, the basic design is running with my nuclear engines and you know, and the hot plate theory. So you're going up, you're using water, which means you can refuel the shuttlecraft in a couple of hours, have it ready and fueled and a new rack of load to go up, and off it goes. And it's completely contained within itself. It can drop, you know, it drops that big huge spare tank that's nothing but water, if there's anything left in it. But it's not pumping out deadly chemicals. It's not putting out all kinds of pollutants. It's not a bomb in the first place going up like modern rockets are. It's not so terribly inconvenient and expensive that only the elite and only the military should be allowed to have anything to do with it. No, you're an embarrassment by turning your back to it and turning your eyes away from reality. So, the next time you want to jump up and scream you're not religious, stop and think about how many things you do with religious fervor and is actually backed by religion. Hollywood, if you look at movies, are very, very hardcore Christian and Catholic, aren't they? There's a little bit of other stuff in there. But the bulk of what you see is Christian and Catholic orientation because they're selling to a Christian and Catholic market. And they are also selling people on the Christian and Catholic market. So yeah, you are religiously fervent when you don't even want to look at any other data that's out there. You don't want to look at the fact that there are no countries that will have anything of Egypt raiding it for slaves for 20 to 50 years after some Moses guy exited with a few million slaves. Yeah. Yeah, you don't even want to think about the logics of that. So yeah. Think about who's telling you not to pay attention to your world. Think about who's telling you not to think about what reality is. Think about what they are offering you with their so-called money-back guarantee that you can't come back and get money back from because you're dead. Yeah. So, Occupy ISS, International Space Station. I haven't had anybody else give me an answer to what to do about this mess here.